Alright, we are back. Assassin's Creed Mirage, the review. Last time we beat the game, and within the ending of that one I said I was gonna start up reviewing it. Well, of course, it's Assassin's Creed, so it has to mess with me the last time. I looked up why it wasn't doing this, and there's a seventh book. Of course there is. It doesn't tell you where it is. It says nothing about it. You're just supposed to magically find it. Perfect. I found it. It's here. We're gonna get it, return it to that guy, then get to the proper review. Come on.
Nice of you to turn up.
Random book in the middle of, on all the way over here. Like let's just go. Let's just go. But yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, notifications, all that, and yeah. After we give them this, we'll find a spot to perch up in and review this. Great game. Game of the Year level game. It's not on any awards. I couldn't even... Like, I voted all my votes for Game of the Year. Couldn't even find... This game was nowhere near it. As usual. I'm not saying Game of the Year is the most important award on Earth. Doesn't matter. Ultimately doesn't matter. There are games that got snubbed. There are games that shouldn't have won. But still, this is... This is something. I've also been thinking of getting Dying Light, too. I've been hearing it's going crazy. Like, I heard it was trash. It's been quite the year for games that were trash and are now great. But yeah, let's give this idiot this, and
Do you have something for me?
I
yeah.
found this strange book.
Oh, do you know what that is?
Oh, the Book of the
It
Dead?
has many names. I know it as if you believe the stories. I myself do not.
Oh, there's the... What is this? The Monstrous Talisman. Okay, now that's that. Let's find somewhere to... Is this... I don't even know what that is. Let's find somewhere to hang out. Guess... here. This is the stupidest fast travel point, because the minute you fast travel there, you can't leave, which kind of sucks. Like, but okay. So as always, though, when it comes to me in games, simply three parts: story, gameplay, graphics. That's how I rate a game. That's how I do what I do. That's how I give it what I give it. But a little bit of backstory, at least I'd say. Assassin's Creed Mirage came. It was supposed to be a Valhalla DLC. And I said it before, but I think that they knew it was going to do trash. They knew it was going to do so trash that they freaking changed it into what it is now. They changed it into this whole saying it's its own standalone, back to its roots Assassin's Creed. And it's really not. You can tell they didn't really put the most work into it. They didn't do the most. They didn't exactly try, in my eyes. They just kind of they slapped this together and hope they didn't lose too much money. I'm not gonna look up sales and everything like that, but yeah. And like I said before, I think I was just shy of 25 hours beaten with completing this game, which, you know, I rented this from GameFly, so I didn't waste $50-$60 on it. GameFly's not sponsored, by the way. I just use them because it's simpler and cheaper. And yeah, this game came out, and it is what it is. Came out right before Spider-Man, so of course no one cared. It was sent to die. It was gonna die no matter what. Did I take this? Oh yeah, that's my gamer tag. But this game was never gonna live ever, and they had to have known that. But where to start? I guess I'll start with the story since it's fresh in my head. So the story follows Basim from AC Valhalla, and this is before the Loki stuff, before everything. the the story as it went along, I said it as much. He has no connection to anyone really. Not very good. He has no real personality besides like small glimpses that I talked about. Like there was that one mission where he showed any amount of something to me, and then he doesn't seem to care about anyone really. Like not really really. Those kids died and he didn't do anything to avenge them. He kind of reminds me of Arno and why I hate Arno. Arno just does stuff. That person just disappeared over there. But Arno just does stuff and he's not a person. He's just really a placeholder, kinda. Arno, he lost his father, Lysida Sire, and all he cared about was Elise, which annoyed me. Bassam does the same thing. He lost that. He had this thing in his head that he was trying to do. He did follow the assassins for a minute, which I kind of found interesting. But hold on, this music is annoying me. Which I kind of found interesting, but I kind of found it interesting. But when it came to Bassam, it kind of got old a bit quickly. Let me turn some of that off. Yeah, it just kind of got old quickly. Seeing him kind of be this, he doesn't question. He's not very charismatic. He's very just, ugh. I can't even explain it. Side missions sucked. Side content really sucked. And the little contracts weren't interesting. They were kind of boring. These were interesting for all of 2 seconds, and you don't need very many. Like we saw in the beginning, I was stealing a bit. I stopped stealing. I have 30 is more than you need for the entire game. I 100% at this game, and 30 is all you need. When it comes to weapons and the fight, or that's something else completely. But story-wise, yeah, side characters all suck. I don't care or think of any of them. None of them were interesting. I can't even begin to think of anyone that Roshan was about it, and she was very bare bones, cool, older teacher, mysterious, but she fell to the wayside. Everyone did. It felt like Bassam did everything alone. He talked to them, and their talks would be nothing more than them sitting around in a circle saying facts. It's just there was no real personality or emotion to it to me. It felt this was a very lazy story to me. I mean, and of course it is. It was supposed to be a DLC. It was supposed to be something simple, kind of like the Miles Morales DLC. It's not supposed to be some greatly thought out story. It's supposed to be kind of quick. I don't know. I don't know. This might be one of, this is definitely my bottom Assassin's Creeds. I'd say for story, fuck. For sure not a 10, 9, 8, 7. It's not a 1 or a 2 or a 3. It's coherent enough until the end, kinda. You know, we kill these guys, this, that. I didn't even get into the order because the order is non-existent. I don't know any of these people. I don't like we barely talk or do anything. Even in the beginning, it was maybe a little something, but it's just nothing. Like, who are these people? We even her, the big head of the order, had like one sentence with us and then was gone. It was oh my god. It was something. Anyway, I don't know. It was just I can't even coherently say it because it's just there's nothing to say. It happened. We'd have targets. They had names. Their names were they were so forgettable. They all had to have like some dumb Al nickname like Rabisu and Al Azlavla. It's just like yeah, like it was. That's how boring these guys were. That they knew you'd forget them so quickly. Al Ghul. Like that's how dumb they were. They couldn't even have their own names. Certain mission structures and the whole little like doing whatever you want thing, it felt more straightforward than ever. Like there were times where you could think there was a different way to do things, but this a lot of the time it felt pretty straightforward on how I could do it. And it was as you saw very janky and messed up at times. And yeah, but the story, I'm gonna have to give this story like I'll give it like a 5 out of 10. That's the best I can do for it. Like that's me trying. It's just because I wasn't. Thank God it was short. Like 100 hours of this story, I would be so. It would be dead. It's just because it's short that it keeps it from being even worse. Even worse. Next, I'm gonna say graphics. Oh, real quick with the story. Even that ending. That ending was. Eh, we knew it was gonna happen. The Nihal thing was like, it'd feel more if we saw her more and dealt with her more. But yeah, it's just everything is very blown to the wayside. Yeah. Graphics were they're okay. I mean, best looking Assassin's Creed on this earth? No. Should it be? It is 2023, but it's a DLC after Valhalla. You can kind of feel the Valhalla in it a lot with graphics and certain things. Certain character models and stuff. Some people looked cool, like was it Rayhan and Rashawn, and certain parts looked okay, but it's really just it gave me Origins vibes, sandy desert type spot, and yeah, even like certain people or things, character designs, it's all very it's so bare bones, and like you can just tell they were trying to get in and out. They were just like, you working on Mirage? Yeah, I gotta make this guy look like this. Alright. Even Bassam. Like looks like him, but like I said, there's like two suits that I found remotely good, and and these are all the suits, but they're kind of whatever. I wonder if I could have worn suits during certain spots. The guards will be. Yep, of course not. That's stupid. That would have been interesting actually to let us have suits that we could wear again, but yeah, these are all the suits. They're kind of weapons and outfits. Even the outfits. That's all the outfits. I got all of them, I believe. Outfits are, yeah, kind of remind me of Origins once again. And the weapons, there's like 6. Like it's just the graphics of this game are they're a thing. They're a thing is all I can say. I can't really say too much on it. It's not like it's the worst looking game on this earth. Of course, it looks fine. I'd say the graphics are the best thing about it. Certain character designs and certain things I find lazy. I'd say that I give it a 6.5 in the graphics world, just because of all the other stuff that adds about to it. And now the absolute worst part is the story, or the worst part, but the gameplay. It sucks. It sucks a lot. People said that you have to rely on tools. They're kind of right, but as you saw, all I did was use smoke bombs and knives and assassinate. Now, there's no inherent problem with that gameplay wise, but if I do get into a fight, it should feel good. It feels so stupid fighting. Like I'm just parry, kill, and I get what they're trying to do. It feels almost like they're trying to make fun of what they used to do with the OG Assassin's Creeds, but the OG ones, there was the free flow of combat, so you were always touching. So it was like you'd hit him, and they also did cool stuff. They did cool little finishers on each guy, or we'd have double or triple, quadruple finishers, and yeah, I think in Syndicate they had it too, where we had fight clubs and we take down like 4, 5, 6 guys at the same time, and it was crazy. This, it's so lazy. It's just like it's so bare bones lazy. They did what they could to just get squeak by and say, yeah, it's back to its roots, but it's just there's nothing to say. There's no good boss fights. There's no really good fights. There's probably like 2 missions that were remotely slightly interesting to do, and I can barely remember them. A lot of the time, missions messed up and didn't go great because it was dumbly laid out, gameplay wise. And yeah, I'd give the gameplay a 5 at best. I don't know, 5.5 maybe. It's just it's there. They even try to excuse it. Basim's not a fighter, but I don't care if he's not a fighter. He's an assassin that trained for years. What was he doing there? In total, that would make this game like a 17 out of 30, which 30 times 17, about a D, which makes sense. I said it. I think even in my head, I was like, I'd say this game is like a high D, phrasing, a low C, D plus to C minus range. This game is one of the worst in the entire series. The story, I've said it when I could. It's just like everything feels so. Who cares? It's there. It happens. It's gone. Nothing matters. Basim doesn't matter. The way things look, the way he fights, the story, none of it matters. Even in Miles's game, I'll give him that. It was about him trying to come to terms with being Spider-Man and on his own and everything. There's something more to that. This is just like whatever. I can't even do it. And I even have my Assassin's Creed little list. I made a ranking of all of them, in my opinion. Where is it? 1 second. Okay, so my ranking of the Assassin's Creeds: Black Flag, number one for sure. Number two, Assassin's Creed 3. I know everyone's gonna say should have been Brotherhood, Brotherhood. I like Brotherhood, story, gameplay, graphics, but Assassin's Creed 3 kinda did it up there for me. I think this it's the gameplay that sets it a bit above. Assassin's Creed 3 and Brotherhood are nearly tied. It's just the gameplay from 3 that really gets it over for me on Brotherhood. Brotherhood number 3 is Brotherhood. Brotherhood was great. Some people might say 2 should have been over Brotherhood. I like Brotherhood a lot. One little thing I liked a lot that I wish they'd bring back, but of course they can't, is managing our assassins and stuff like that. I loved sending them on missions and getting money from them and things like that, and deciding what they wear and being able to have them call them to help me. They're never. I don't know if they're ever going to do that again. I hope, but Assassin's Creed's are idiot. Is it? They're all idiots at Ubisoft. But yeah, and in Brotherhood, one feature, we people tried to rob us. There was a feature where like if you were walking around in a dark alley, someone would say, "Hey, nice shoes," and 5 guys would pop up trying to rob Ezio. That was fire. That was fire. But they're not going to do that anymore. Next, number 4 is number 2. Or number 4 is Assassin's Creed 2. Number 5, Origins. Origins is the best of these RPG games in all. I like the story. The graphics are great. The gameplay was pretty good. It was Bayek, the first true assassin. After Origins, Syndicate. I like Syndicate a lot. It came after Unity, which was impressive because Unity was kind of a dumpster fire, and Ubisoft somehow managed to get this out. I think they waited 2 years and then brought out Syndicate. I like Syndicate a lot. Jacob and Evie, they did the whole. I think they did the whole. I mean, us switching back and forth. They basically did the Miles Morales or the Spider-Man 2 thing, switching back and forth between 2 different characters. You were loud with Jacob, you were quiet with Evie. I personally like that because there are times when I never know if I should be loud or quiet. Next is Assassin's Creed 1, the OG. It's the first one. Got everyone to Assassin's Creed. Its story, gameplay, graphics, all kind of simple, but for 2008, it was or 2005 or 8 or 7, it was pretty great. And now we're getting into the bottom tier. After that, I put Odyssey above Valhalla, for sure, for sure. Odyssey and Valhalla are basically the same thing to me, in all honesty. Valhalla felt so boringly, mind-numbingly slow, and it was tougher to do and like go around and get everything just because they didn't have markers for things. It would be like those little glowy yellow spots. So it was like you just had to run and look around. It was so annoying. Not to mention the side missions weren't very structured. It would, like, stuff would happen. He'd say, "Man, I should really set this on fire," and it wouldn't like pop up like "set this on fire." It would just like expect you to be paying great attention to this 200-hour game. And don't even get me started on freaking on Asgard. Don't get me started on it. But Valhalla. So 1, Black Flag. 2, Assassin's Creed 3. 3, Brotherhood. 4, Assassin's Creed 2. 5, Origins. 6, Syndicate. 7, Assassin's Creed 1. 8, Odyssey. 9, Valhalla. 10, Unity. Which, God, I hated Unity. I've said everything. I think I've talked about Unity 100 times. Its story and its gameplay. The only good thing about Unity, and its graphics are pretty good for people that could get them good. If it glitched, and it was terrible. But it had pretty good graphics. And the parkour. That was really it. Besides that, the fighting was god awful. I don't care what anyone says. Uh, Number 11, I'm gonna say Revelations, which people might not love. I hated Revelations. I'm gonna be honest. Story was great, graphics pretty good, but it was the gameplay and everything that I couldn't deal with. I couldn't do it. I hated the tower defenses. I hated all the little smoke bomb things we had to create and make. I didn't like the hook blade, never worked for me. And what stopped me from playing Origins I was playing it. I was trying to max out all of my Assassin's Tower guys, and the game just kept freezing and crashing, and it ruined it for me. It ruined it for me. It wouldn't let me get past a certain point, and so I was done. I was completely done. I can't do it. Love Ezio. He's great. Two of his games are my top five. But yeah, after 10, 11's Revelations, 12 is Rogue. Ooh, I hate Rogue. Rogue is the only reason Rogue isn't at the bottom is because of the next game. But Rogue is hot fire garbage. I didn't include DLCs. I included what they consider a main game, kinda. I might say the only other DLC I can think of is Freedom Cry, which I'll put in a second. I'll have to find him a spot because I played that. But hated Rogue. Hated Rogue at a level of passion I can't even comprehend. It its story was stupid. Its graphics were worse than Assassin's Creed 3, and its gameplay was basically just a copy of 3 and 4. They literally brought Rogue out as a way for last gen people to do anything. That's the only reason Rogue was around. Oof, that was weird. But and then last is Liberations. No need to even say a word. If you know what Jesus Christ. If you know what Assassin's Creed Liberations is, you know why it's there. It was a PSP game that got ported over to a console, and it sucks. Graphics, gameplay, story. I think no, the story was actually kind of okay, but the graphics and gameplay were kind of really dumb. I didn't like it at all. And I'm gonna say Freedom Cry is above Liberations for me. I mean, it's a DLC. It's very short. It's very little. I mean, the story's not the best. It's whatever, but it was kind of cool playing as Adwala. And now I'm gonna think where I should put. Where should I put Mirage? It's above Liberations because everything is. I'd say it's above Freedom Cry. Is it above Rogue? I'm trying to think. Based on, it's just the problem with Mirage is so mind-numbingly, boringly, whatever. That's the problem. Like it doesn't play things safe. It plays things boring. Like if I was to say this is a piece of bread in a box, whereas Rogue tried something, I guess, like being a defective assassin. Could have, had they done it right, it would have been better. But you know, Shay, like an idiot, runs into a room. You did this. They're like, what happened? And he just keeps yelling. It doesn't explain. So they kick him out. And then he tries to steal, and they naturally attack him. So I'd say I'm gonna put Mirage. Mirage is gonna be above Freedom Cry, below Rogue for me. It's just so boring. So, number 1, Black Flag. 2, AC3. 3, Brotherhood. 4, AC2. 5, Origins. 6, Syndicate. 7 is AC1. 8 is Odyssey. 9, Valhalla. 10, Unity. 11, Revelations, which. Yeah, Revelations. 12, Rogue. 13, Mirage. 14, Freedom Cry. 15, Liberations. That's my ranking of all the Assassin's Creeds. Not their number or anything, but that's where they all stand for me in terms of what I like and dislike. I'd play Assassin's Creed Black Flag 100 times over if I could. I was just trying something stupid. Look at this. Whatever. But yeah, that's my ranking of it. That's my review of Assassin's Creed Mirage. This one does feel a bit shorter, but that's because there's not a ton to say. Not a ton happened. Nothing much. No, not much feeling. It's a game technically. I'm sure, like I said before, they played it safe, as safe as they could. They threw in buzzwords. They didn't do too much, and I'm guessing they didn't lose too much money. I even saw something that said like Assassin's Creed Black Flag is the highest selling Assassin's Creed of all time, like copies wise, not monetary wise, of course. But I don't know if they adjusted for inflation, but money wise or sales wise, it sold the most copies still by a lot. But yeah, this game is the definition of play it safe. We don't want to lose money. We want to pump. We have to pump this out. We have to not lose bread. Do it, and that's what this is. a safe bet. They didn't make the story too much. They didn't do much with the graphics or anything. They didn't do much with the gameplay. And yeah, it's very disappointing to see Ubisoft act like this. But, and I already said it took like 25 hours. It cost people 50, so that's about $2 an hour, depending on who you are, how good you are at playing, how quick you are. But yeah, that's the end. And I do want to say, next game we're going to be doing another great Ubisoft game, Far Cry 6. Dun dun dun. I've heard about Far Cry 6. I've heard the problems with it. I know that Gus is in it. That's really the only big thing from that game. That's all I heard. Gus. He was the marketing. He was the way they got them in. And yeah, we're gonna see it. I've heard a lot of bad things also from people that actually played the game. But we'll see. And besides that, like, comment, subscribe, notifications, all that stuff. I do thank everyone for watching this whole thing till the end. This game was not not great for me. You saw it, saw my anger and frustration and hatred of things. Saw how I just couldn't do it, how I couldn't care, how I was skipping cutscenes and dialogue because it was so mind-numbingly boring. But we got through it, and hopefully Far Cry 6 will be a different change of pace. Slight spoiler: after Far Cry 6, I might be trying Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk is so big, I imagine I'll be making like 100 parts to it. It's just tough. And I've got this kidney transplant thing coming up, so I've got some things I gotta do beforehand. But I saw in the PlayStation Store they were giving Far Cry 6 is free with PS Plus extra, whatever. Not a sponsor. And Cyberpunk and the Phantom Liberty DLC is only $60, which is a pretty good deal. Wish I had bought Cyberpunk years ago in order to, when it was cheap, but still, that might be what I do next, depending. It'll just be a lot to do, but again, that's future me's problem. Again, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, notifications, all that stuff. Do comment down below what you think about my ranking of the Assassin's Creeds and how they are. If you disagree, if you have a different take, I'd love to hear it. Couldn't mind. I like a good debate, as long as you're not doing too much. And yeah, I will see you next time. I'm so happy. I'm done with this game. I'll never have to see this idiot again.